Hey guys, Jay! Welcome back to the channel. Guys, we just got through a live stream speaking with legendary creator and, of course, G.I. Joe Transformers alumni Larry Hama and his partner, Guy Dorian Sr., about their brand new book, Mounties vs. Werewolves. They are so close to completing their funding goal on Kickstarter for this brand new comic book series, and they need your help. So definitely head over to that video where you can find out more about Mounties vs. Werewolves. Being Canadian myself, it was an honor to be speaking with Larry Hama, legendary G.I. Joe and Transformers backstory creator. We got a lot of insights from him about how to write, the way he does most of his conceptual ideas for characters, and of course, a little bit of insights into several different characters, including Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and you definitely don't want to miss that. It was an amazing interview with Guy Dorian Sr. and Larry Hama. You guys should definitely check it out. I'll have links in the description below where you can take a look at that, as well as links to the Kickstarter, which you can support right now, Mounties vs. Werewolves. It's going to be amazing, guys. But today, I want to talk a little bit about the Haslab that's going on right now for the Cobra Rattler and why it's stalled. I mean, we were expecting with such a crazy jump at the beginning of the campaign, literally funding within the first day, that it would have been fully funded by now with all of the stretch goal tiers. But for whatever reason, over the past couple of weeks, month, if you will, it's sort of has just been coasting along, and it's kind of perplexing considering the fact that this should have been a home run right off the bat, and there are a lot of people online questioning what's happening with the crowdfund itself and if it's stalling for some strange reason. So let's take a deep dive into this, guys, and see exactly what we can figure out for the Cobra Haslab project. Let's have a look. Oh, baby. This is where things always get a little bit dicey, the final days of a crowdsource project. Now, Haslab is no stranger to crowdsource projects. As a matter of fact, you could actually call them one of the progenitors of crowdsourcing, for the modern age. That is to say that Mattel is one of the first larger companies, billion-dollar companies, if you will, who actually got into the game early to do crowdfunding with Castle Grayskull. Then, of course, Haslab followed suit soon after with their sail barge. But now, after many, many, many Haslabs later, we are here, and the latest Haslab, Cobra Rattler, is nearing its funding goal. Now, I say funding goal, but it actually reached its funding goal quite early. The funding happened pretty much as quickly as you would expect for a Haslab project, funded within a day. That was absolutely insane, but is in much the same pattern as many G.I. Joe projects that have been presented in the past, such as the G.I. Joe Cobra Hiss, as well as the G.I. Joe Dragonfly, which took a little bit more like a day and a half to fund, but still within the same range. Shortly thereafter, the first stretch goal for the Rattler was achieved and garnered a lot of different memes from different sources, including our very good friend Chaz the Guru, who basically had a heck of a time and making light of the situation. You get a patch, you get a patch, you get a patch. But that was very quickly done, and a lot of people were excited about the next tier, which was the Cobra Gunner, who was eventually unlocked on August 19th, 2024 at 14,000 backers. And then the target was set for the 18,000 unlock of the Baroness. And that's pretty much where things have been for quite some time. If we take a look at the Haslab that is currently set right now, hitting refresh, we are down to 5 days, 8 hours, and 34 minutes, and we've gotten all the way up to 15,993 backers, which really isn't that unusual. Good friends of the channel, Geek Dad Life, have hosted a number of charts. Brian Brink, who has made it his mission to track all of these crowdfund projects, including ones from Haslab, Hatter Toys, Spiro, and Super 7. Taking a look at today's chart, we can see that the Cobra Rattler is following a very similar trajectory to the G.I. Joe Dragonfly. As a matter of fact, it's eerily similar to how closely it's been tracked on its overall progression. However, we are seeing an interesting little detail here at the end. As a matter of fact, according to the projections by Brian Brink, we actually will not hit the Baroness for another couple of days, and will only reach 18,000 around the second last day of funding. Now, as we know, traditionally, it's the last few days of funding where everything just takes a complete turn and a massive spike in pledges happens, as there are a lot of people who are always on the fence about backing projects like this, especially those who want to make sure that every single tier is unlocked. The G.I. Joe Cobra Rattler is of course no exception to this rule, as the first few unlocks came very quickly, those being the Airborne Squad patches, the classified Cobra Rattler Gunner, leaving only the Baroness as the final unlock for this particular crowdfund. This really is a far cry from the days of the G.I. Joe Cobra Hiss Tank, which pretty much got all of its stretch goals within the first week, funding so quickly that it prompted the G.I. Joe team to add another unlock at the end of the campaign, encouraging backers to continue backing well into the final days of the Hiss Tank, helping to unlock Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander on a traditional retro-style backing card. This was literally unprecedented, as adding an additional 4th tier would increase the cost of production, but hats off to the G.I. Joe team for adding a Cobra Commander, giving much more incentive to additional backers who are on the fence for backing this project, leading to 26,772 backers of an 8,000 backer goal. With all that said, that leaves us with the question of the Baroness. She would be most people's choices as being the one figure that everyone wanted. After all, she comes with an incredible pack out, as well as one of the best head sculpts that we've seen in a while on any female figure in the G.I. Joe line. She has 2 replaceable hair sculpts, a flight helmet, rebreather attachments, a headset for communication, and her own rifle, as well as 2 sidearm pistols. When I saw this figure in the case at San Diego Comic-Con, I had to say she was definitely one of the standouts in the entire Haslab project, and it would definitely be a shame if we didn't get her into the collection. As I said earlier, this face sculpt is looking absolutely amazing, and she comes with all these wonderful accessories as we highlighted just previously. Her brand new sculpt from the ground up, a new look for the Baroness, although we can definitely see some reuse here and there from different figures in the line. And of course, you cannot discount all those wonderful accessories that she is going to be coming with. Definitely a wonderful addition into the campaign itself. And it's amazing we haven't confirmed her yet, leading into the final 5 days of the campaign. As a matter of fact, a lot of videos have started to surface from many toy tubers what's actually happening and questioning why the Baroness has not yet been unlocked. This has led to a lot of speculation that people are just sitting around and waiting to see exactly what's going to happen in the final few days, which definitely was not the case with previous Haslabs like the Cobra Hiss Tank. But as we saw with the Dragonfly, which was $25 less than the Hiss Tank, not only hit its funding goal, but also came very close to matching the Cobra Hiss Tank in backers in its final few days. Brian Brink's predictions are that it will reach at least 23,582 backers in the last 2 days of funding. But there are always questions looming whenever a crowdfund of this size comes around, especially since this crowdfund is an additional $50 more than the previous crowdfund, which was only $274 for the Dragonfly, and now we're all the way up back to $324.99 for the Cobra Rattler. Having said that, the Rattler is rather substantial in size and does actually take up quite a footprint. Thankfully, the wings do fold in, making it a much welcomed addition, being able to be put away easier than other vehicles of its size. The countdown continues for the G.I. Joe Classified Series Rattler Attack Jet, and we literally just hit 16,000 backers as soon as I hit refresh. Guys, we're getting closer and closer to the final funding goal, unlocking the Baroness at 18,000 orders. Only 2,000 orders away, guys. Let's see what happens in these last few days. But if history repeats itself, I'm certain that we will be adding the Baroness into our collections very, very soon. Well, guys, I gotta tell you, it's a bit of a conundrum here. Don't know why it's taking so long for the project to reach its final stretch goals. If we actually take a look at other past G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslabs, the Cobra Hiss Tank pretty much reached all of its goals very, very quickly, and even had to open up a final goal because of how quickly it reached all of its tiers, and rewarding fans for making it happen with the Cobra Commander, Mickey Mouse Coco. So that was an example of a huge success for Classified Series. The G.I. Joe Dragonfly followed a very similar path with the Cobra Hiss Tank. And a lot of people attribute that to the fact that the stretch goals themselves were a bit deep dives, and a lot of people were like, who's Glenda? It really became a big thing throughout the campaign, but it did shoot up in the last final days, and it seems like the Cobra Rattler is on the same trajectory as the Dragonfly, but on these last few days, it seems to be really trailing along and having a hard time getting to that final stretch goal. Let me know your comments in the comment section below, guys. What are your thoughts about the stalling of the Rattler final stretch goal of the Baroness? I mean, she should have been a home run. She should have been easy to attain. You know, the facial sculpt, the actual new look for the Baroness is top notch. So it really is a perplexing situation as to why the whole project is stalled to this level. I myself have no doubts that it will actually reach its final destination, but as we've seen with Brian Brink's charts, we might not actually get there until the actual final day of funding. Are you guys excited for this final tier with the Baroness, or is it something that you can just pass by considering that the whole project is fully funded and you're ready to move on to the next project? Or are you not into the Rattler at all and would rather have gotten something else as a Cobra vehicle? Leave those comments in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please do leave me a like. It really does help me out. And if you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I always report on everything toy news, and I hope you guys do enjoy that type of content. From G.I. Joe to Master Universe and, of course, Flipboard and the Champions of Verity. It's always a lot of fun, guys, and I hope to see you there. Guys, I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Yo, Joe, everybody! Cobra! Good journey! Geek proud.